Welcome to the OLV Daily Reflection for Tuesday, September 15th. Today, the Universal Church honors the Blessed Virgin Mary under the title of Our Lady of Sorrows. This particular title, the Blessed Virgin Mary, comes from the Church's teaching in regards to the 7 sorrows of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The events in the life of Mary, which are considered by the Church to be the 7 sorrows, are the following: the prophecy of Simeon, the flight into Egypt, the loss of the child Jesus in the temple, the meeting of Jesus and Mary on the way of the cross, the crucifixion, the taking down of the body of Jesus from the cross, and the burial of Jesus. So as a person reflects on these 7 sorrows of the Blessed Virgin Mary, we acknowledge that she went through so much. The Blessed Virgin Mary experienced what it was like to be afraid for the life of her child. She experienced what it's like to be missing a child. She experienced what it's like to see her child suffer. And the Blessed Virgin Mary even experienced what it was like to have a child die. And this feast day, Our Lady of Sorrows, is in contrast to what we celebrated a few days ago in the church, the Holy Name of Mary. Because on that feast day, we reflected on the Annunciation and the Visitation, the joyful events of Mary's life. But we can now see that she experienced both. So today, Mary, under the title of Our Lady of Sorrows, helps us to know that we will experience both the joys and sorrows of our lives. And we know in both cases, our Mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary, knows what it's like, and we always have recourse to her as not only intercessor, but also as a model of faith. The Gospel passage that the Church chose for today's Mass comes to us from the 2nd chapter of St. Luke's Gospel. This selection tells us about the first sorrow of Mary, the prophecy of Simeon. It reads, Jesus' father and mother were amazed what was said about him. And Simeon blessed them and said to Mary his mother, Behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And you yourself a sword will pierce, so that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And as I talked about already, we know that we have always an intercessor in the Blessed Virgin Mary. And because she experienced so many difficulties throughout her life, she knows how to intercede on our behalf. We just truly have to ask her for it, and she will truly provide. Now, this particular gospel passage, which tells us about the first sorrow of Mary, also puts forth an example of her deep faith. She continued to move forward in her life despite this prophecy, and also despite the many other sorrows she experienced throughout her life. She continued to be faithful to her Son, Jesus Christ, and continued to be a source of hope for the disciples and those who were around Jesus. Thus, I think we could say without a doubt that she, who is the Lady of Sorrows, also could be called a woman of great hope, because she stood in front of the cross in the midst of her sorrows. And as terrible and as hard as this had to be for a mother, she was first and foremost a disciple of her Son. So her example is one of amazing faithfulness, even in the midst of great sorrow. So like the Blessed Virgin Mary, we can experience sorrow, we can experience many other things, but we can also still have hope in the midst of those feelings, and we can still cling to Jesus Christ, who suffered, died, and rose for us. So when we have sorrows in our lives, let us not go into thoughts of despair that cause us to lose faith and not to live our lives to the fullest. But let us meditate on the Blessed Virgin Mary and ask for her intercession, so that we, even in these dark moments of our lives, we can truly become more and more faithful disciples of Jesus Christ after the example of his mother and our mother. Our Lady of Sorrows, pray for us.